The day I stopped working, the silence became unbearable. I had spent 35 years waking up before the sun, measuring my worth by how useful I was to other people. And suddenly, there was nowhere I needed to be. No calls to answer, no problems to solve, no one waiting for me. I was 60 years old, and for the first time since my 20s, I didn't know who I was without my job. Retirement was supposed to feel like freedom, but what I felt instead was something far more unsettling, the quiet fear of becoming irrelevant. This is my story, and if you've ever wondered what happens when the thing that defined you disappears, stay with me, because what I discovered on the other side surprised me too. The day I stopped working, the silence became unbearable. For 35 years, I'd been Michael Harrison, Senior Operations Manager at Midland Manufacturing. I had a desk, a title, a purpose. Then I retired, and I didn't know who I was anymore. Welcome to Good Stories Today, your channel for emotional and inspiring stories. Listen while you drive, work, or simply seek inspiration. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. This is my story. And if you've ever wondered what happens when the thing that defined you disappears, you need to hear this. Chapter 1. The Last Day. They threw me a party on my last day. Cake in the break room, a plaque with my name engraved on it, speeches about dedication and loyalty. 35 years, my boss said, raising a plastic cup of punch. Mike's been the backbone of this operation. We wouldn't be where we are without him. Everyone clapped. I smiled, said thank you, shook hands. But inside, I felt nothing. Not pride, not relief, not excitement. Just this strange, hollow feeling that I couldn't quite name. My coworkers kept saying the same things. You've earned this, Mike. Time to enjoy life. Finally gonna get to relax, huh? I nodded, agreed, said all the right things. But as I packed up my desk, 35 years crammed into 2 cardboard boxes, I kept thinking, now what? I'd been planning this for 2 years. I had the numbers, the 401k, the pension, Social Security kicking in. Financially, I was fine. I'd done everything right. So why did I feel like I was walking off a cliff? I drove home that Friday afternoon in September, boxes in the trunk, and the house was quiet when I walked in. Too quiet. I set the boxes in the garage, didn't even open them, and I stood there in my own driveway at 3:47 in the afternoon on a weekday and realized I had nowhere to be, no meeting to get to, no project deadline, no one waiting for my decision. For the first time in 35 years, I was free, and it terrified me. Chapter 2. The first week, the first Monday was the hardest. I woke up at 5:30 a.m., like I'd done for decades. My body didn't know I was retired. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, listening to the clock tick. Usually, I'd be up by now. Shower, coffee, out the door by 6:15. But there was nowhere to go, so I just stayed in bed. At 7, I finally got up, made coffee, sat at the kitchen table. The house felt too big, too empty. It had felt that way since Lily died 3 years ago, but I'd never really sat with it before, because I'd always had work to get to. Work had been my escape, my routine, my structure, my reason to keep moving forward. And now it was gone. I tried to fill the day. I went to the hardware store, bought some things I didn't need, came home, I watched TV, flipped through channels, couldn't focus on anything. I called my son, Jake. He didn't answer. Sent a text back. At work, Dad, call you tonight. I called my daughter, Emma. She answered, but I could hear kids screaming in the background. Hey, Dad, everything okay? Yeah, just checking in. That's sweet. I'm in the middle of something. Can I call you back? Sure, no problem. She didn't call back. By 2 p.m., I'd run out of things to do. I thought about going for a walk, but where? I thought about starting a project. But what? I sat on the couch and stared at the wall, and for the first time in my adult life, I felt completely Useless. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the plant, about my desk, about the daily production meetings I used to run. I wondered if they were managing okay without me. I wondered if anyone even noticed I was gone. The second week was worse. Chapter 3. The guilt. People kept telling me I should be happy. You worked your whole life, Mike. Enjoy it. Travel, golf, do all the things you never had time for. But here's what nobody tells you about retirement. When you stop working, you don't just lose a job, you lose your identity. For 35 years, I was the guy who solved problems, the guy people called when something went wrong, the guy who showed up early and left late. I was needed. And now I was just a guy with time to kill. I tried to keep busy. I mowed the lawn twice in 1 week because I had nothing else to do. I reorganized the garage, cleaned out gutters that didn't need cleaning, fixed things that weren't broken, but it all felt pointless because I wasn't producing anything. I wasn't contributing. I was just existing. And every night, I'd lie in bed with this gnawing feeling in my chest. Guilt. Guilt for not working. Guilt for wasting the day. Guilt for feeling this way when I was supposed to be grateful. I'd worked my entire life so I could retire, so I could have this freedom. And now that I had it, I didn't know what to do with it. One morning, about 3 weeks in, I woke up and couldn't get out of bed. Not because I was tired, but because I couldn't think of a single reason to. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, and thought, is this it? Is this what the rest of my life looks like? That's when I heard her voice, Lily's voice. Not literally, I'm not crazy, but in my mind, clear as day, I heard what she would have said. Mike, you're being ridiculous. Get up. I smiled, just a little, because that was so her. Lily never let me wallow, never let me feel sorry for myself. She'd been gone for 3 years, sudden heart attack. 1 minute she was here, the next she wasn't. I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't get to tell her I loved her one more time. I just kept working, because working was easier than dealing with the grief. And now, with nothing to distract me, it was all coming back. I got out of bed that morning, but barely, and I knew something had to change. Chapter 4. The breaking point. Thanksgiving was coming. Jake and Emma were both coming home with their families. First time we'd all be together since last Christmas. I should have been excited. But instead, I was dreading it, because I knew they'd ask, "So, Dad, how's retirement? What have you been up to?" And I'd have to lie. I'd have to say, "Great, keeping busy, loving it." Because what was I supposed to say? That I spend most days sitting on the couch, staring at nothing. That I feel like I don't matter anymore. I couldn't tell them that. They had their own lives, their own problems, their own kids to worry about. They didn't need to worry about me. The week before Thanksgiving, I drove to the grocery store to pick up supplies. I was standing in the frozen food aisle, staring at turkey options, when I ran into Dave Chen. Dave used to work at the plant, retired about 5 years ago. "Mike, hey man, how's retirement treating you?" I forced a smile. "Good, yeah, it's good. Isn't it the best? I'm telling you, I should have done it sooner." "Yeah." "Oh, man, yeah. I volunteer at the community center 3 days a week. Teach woodworking classes. It's been amazing. You should come check it out." Maybe I will. But I knew I wouldn't, because the idea of teaching strangers how to use a table saw felt, I don't know, small. I'd spent 35 years managing operations for a company that employed 300 people. I'd made decisions that affected livelihoods, budgets, production schedules, and now I was supposed to be excited about woodworking classes. I got home and put the groceries away, and then I did something I hadn't done since Lily died. I went into our bedroom, her bedroom really, I still thought of it as hers, and I opened her closet. Her clothes were still there. I hadn't been able to get rid of them. I pulled out one of her sweaters. the soft blue one she always wore on Sundays, and I held it to my face. It didn't smell like her anymore. And I cried. Not the quiet, dignified kind of crying, the ugly kind, the kind that comes from somewhere deep and buried. I cried for Lily, for the life we were supposed to have together in retirement. I cried for the 35 years I'd given to a company that replaced me in a week. I cried because I didn't know who I was anymore. And when I was done, I sat on the floor of the closet, exhausted, and I heard her voice again. Mike, you're not done yet. I didn't know what that meant, but something shifted that night. Chapter 5. Thanksgiving. They arrived on Wednesday evening. Jake, his wife Amy, and their 2 boys, Tyler, 8, and Mason, 5. Emma, her husband Rob, and their daughter Sophie, 3. The house, which had been so quiet for months, suddenly exploded with noise. Kids running, bags everywhere, voices overlapping. "Grandpa!" Tyler tackled me with a hug. Mason was right behind him. Sophie toddled over, arms up. "Up, Gampa!" I picked her up, and for the first time in weeks, I felt something other than emptiness. I felt needed. "Dad, you look thin," Emma said, studying my face. "Are you eating?" "I'm fine." "He looks tired," Jake said to Amy, like I wasn't standing right there. "I'm fine," I repeated, but I wasn't, and I could tell they knew it. That night, after the kids were in bed, we sat around the kitchen table. Just the 4 adults. "So, Dad," Jake started, carefully. "How's it been, really?" I wanted to lie, to say everything was great, but I was tired of lying. "It's been hard," I admitted. Emma reached over and put her hand on mine. "Hard how?" I didn't know how to explain it. How do you tell your kids that you feel like your life is over? That you don't know what you're for anymore? I don't know what to do with myself," I said quietly. "I thought retirement would feel like freedom, but it just feels empty." They were quiet for a moment, then Amy spoke up. "Mike, have you thought about volunteering or joining something? There's got to be organizations that could use someone with your experience." "I don't know," I said. I spent my whole life working, and now I'm supposed to just give my time away for free." "It's not about free," Jake said. "It's about purpose, Dad. You need something to work toward." I nodded, but I didn't believe it. The next day was Thanksgiving. We cooked together, watched football. The kids played in the yard. It was nice, really nice. But it also made me realize something. They had lives, full, busy, complicated lives, and I was just passing through. After dinner, I was doing dishes when Emma came up beside me. "Dad, I'm worried about you." "I'm fine, sweetie." "No, you're not." Her voice was firm. "And it's okay to not be fine, but you can't just waste away in this house." "I'm not." "Mom wouldn't want this." That stopped me. She was right. Lily wouldn't want this. She'd kick my ass if she could see me now. "I know," I said quietly. Emma hugged me, and I let her. They left on Saturday. The house went quiet again, but this time, the silence felt different, because Emma's words kept echoing in my head. Mom wouldn't want this. Chapter 6. The Turning Point. I spent the next week thinking about what Amy had said, about volunteering, about purpose, and I thought about Dave Chen, about how happy he seemed teaching woodworking. Maybe I'd been thinking about this all wrong. Maybe retirement wasn't about stopping. Maybe it was about redirecting. I started Googling volunteer opportunities, mentorship programs, community centers. And that's when I found it. Second Harvest Community Kitchen. Volunteers needed a nonprofit that prepared and delivered meals to homebound seniors and families in need. Something about it caught my attention. I'd spent 35 years managing operations, managing people, making sure things ran smoothly. Maybe I could do that here. I called the number. A woman named Patricia answered. Warm voice, southern accent. "A Second Harvest, this is Patricia." "Hi, I'm calling about volunteering." "Wonderful. We'd love to have you. Can I get your name?" Michael Harrison. But people call me Mike." Nice to meet you, Mike. Tell me a little about yourself. I hesitated. What was there to tell? I just retired. I was in operations management for 35 years. I'm looking for something to do. Well, Mike, we could absolutely use someone with your background. Can you come in next week for an orientation? Yeah, I can do that. I hung up. And for the first time in months, I felt a small flicker of something. Not excitement, exactly, but possibility. Chapter 7. The Kitchen. The orientation was on a Tuesday morning. I walked into Second Harvest Community Kitchen expecting, I don't know, something small, informal. But it was a full operation, industrial kitchen, walk-in fridges, loading dock, delivery trucks, and people everywhere, chopping, cooking, packing, loading. Patricia met me at the entrance, short, round woman in her 50s with kind eyes. Mike, welcome, welcome. Come on, let me show you around. She walked me through the operation. We serve about 300 meals a day, she explained. Homebound seniors mostly, some families going through hard times. We deliver Monday through Friday. That's a lot of coordination, I said. You're telling me, she laughed. Some days it's chaos, but we make it work. We stopped in the kitchen. A guy in his 20s was frantically checking clipboards. This is David. He manages our meal prep schedule. David looked stressed. Patricia, we're short 2 volunteers today, and the Jefferson Street route needs to go out by 11. Patricia sighed. And I'll make some calls. I watched David scramble, watched the organized chaos, and something in me clicked. This was operations, different product, different scale, but the same fundamental challenge. Get the right thing to the right place at the right time. Patricia, I said, what if I helped with logistics, scheduling, route planning, that kind of thing? She looked at me. You'd want to do that? Yeah, I think I would. She smiled. Mike, you just made my day. Chapter 8. The work. I started the next week, just a few hours a day, 3 days a week. But those few hours, they changed everything. I rebuilt the delivery routes, optimized them based on distance and time windows. I created a volunteer schedule that actually worked, color-coded, clear. I reorganized the storage system so supplies were easier to find. Small things, practical things, but they mattered. Within 2 weeks, deliveries were running smoother. Volunteers knew where to be and when. The kitchen felt less chaotic, and I felt useful. One afternoon, Patricia pulled me aside. Mike, I don't know how we managed before you got here. I'm just organizing things. No, you're fixing things we didn't even know were broken. She paused. You're making a real difference. A real difference. I hadn't heard those words in a long time. That night, I drove home with the windows down, even though it was December and cold, and I realized something. I'd spent 35 years building things for a company, but now I was building something for people who actually needed it, and that felt bigger. One Thursday morning, I was loading meal trays into delivery bags when an older volunteer named Ruth came up to me. Mike, you got a second? Sure, Ruth. What's up? She handed me a folded piece of paper. This is from Mrs. Chen, one of our regulars on the Maple Street route. She wanted me to give this to you. I unfolded it. Thank you for making sure my meals arrive on time and warm. It's the best part of my day. God bless you. Margaret Chen. I stared at that note for a long time. Mrs. Chen didn't know who I was, didn't know what I did, but my work mattered to her, and that was enough. Chapter 9. The Discovery. By January, I was working 4 days a week. Not because I had to, because I wanted to. Patricia had asked if I'd be willing to help train new volunteers, teach them the systems I'd built. You're good at this, Mike. You should share it. So I started doing training sessions, twice a month. Small groups, 5 or 6 people at a time. I'd walk them through the delivery routes, the meal prep schedule, how to handle special requests. And something unexpected happened. I enjoyed teaching. I'd never thought of myself as a teacher. I'd always been the doer, the manager, the guy in the trenches. But standing in front of those volunteers, explaining systems, answering questions, it felt good. One of the new volunteers, a young woman named Maya, came up to me after a session. "Mike, thank you, that was really clear. I've been so nervous about screwing up, but you made it seem manageable." "You'll do great," I said. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "How long have you been doing this?" "Volunteering here, about 3 months." Her eyes widened. 3 months. It feels like you built this place." I smiled. "No, I just helped organize it." But the truth was, I had built something, not from scratch, but I'd taken something good and made it better, and that mattered. That night, I sat in my living room with a cup of coffee, and I thought about Lily, about what she would say if she could see me now. I think she'd be proud, not because I was working at a nonprofit, not because I was doing good, but because I'd found my way back, to purpose, to contribution, to mattering. I walked over to the mantel and picked up our wedding photo. We were so young, 23 years old, whole lives ahead of us. We'd built a good life together, raised 2 kids, worked hard, saved money, and then she was gone. And I'd spent 3 years running from that grief by drowning myself in work. But now I was finally sitting with it, missing her, honoring her, but also moving forward. "I'm okay, Lily," I said out loud. "I'm going to be okay." And for the first time, I believed it. Chapter 10. The lesson. It's been 7 months since I retired, and I'm not going to tell you I have it all figured out. I don't. Some days are still hard. Some mornings I still wake up and wonder what the point is. But here's what I've learned. Retirement isn't the end. It's just a transition from one kind of work to another. I spent 35 years building things for a company. And now I'm building things for my community. Different scale, different stakes, but the same core truth. I'm still contributing. I'm still serving. I think about that metaphor Patricia shared with me a few weeks ago. She said, "Mike, you're like a tree. Just because you're not in a forest doesn't mean you stop giving shade. You just find a new place to plant yourself." A tree. I like that. Because trees don't retire. They don't stop growing. They don't stop producing. They just keep giving, season after season. And that's what I'm learning to do. I talked to Jake last week, told him about Second Harvest, about the work I've been doing. "Dad, you sound happy," he said. "I am. I'm proud of you." Those words meant more than he'll ever know. Conclusion. The truth, I'm 60 years old. I don't have a job title anymore. I don't have a corner office or a production schedule. But I have something I didn't have 7 months ago. I have purpose, and that's everything. So if you're watching this, and you've recently retired, or you're about to, I want you to hear this. You're not done. You're just starting a new chapter. And it might take time to figure out what that chapter looks like. That's okay. Give yourself grace. Give yourself time. But don't give up, because the world still needs you. Maybe not in the same way. Maybe not in the same place. But it needs you. Your experience. Your wisdom. Your ability to contribute. Don't let the silence fool you into thinking you're useless. You're not. You're just learning to serve in a new way. Like a tree. Keep growing. Keep giving. Keep planting yourself where you're needed. Because retirement isn't the end of your story. It's just the beginning of a new one. This is Good Stories Today, your story channel. If this story resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. I share stories like this every week. Real, honest, human stories about people trying to figure it out, just like you and me. Thanks for listening. And remember, you're not done yet. See you in the next story.